Do I ask the pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everyone. Roll call, please.
Mr. Volrick?
Here.
Mr. Blanton?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
All right, we'll go straight into administrator's report.
Well, I'm sorry to report, I'm just gonna start with the failure of the fire levy. Didn't gain the support that we thought it might, and, we're gonna have to revisit that issue. So we'll be talking about that as we move forward in the future. And, I don't know if anybody wants to say anything about it now, but other than that, my report is everything in the old and new business, so that's really the only other thing, other than I'd like to introduce Ed Lindeschmidt, who we agreed to bring on part-time last month to help with our property assistant maintenance things. So, if you want to say a few things.
It is on for here?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Lynn Schmidt. I am the code enforcement officer for Addison as well as Queens currently and now Township as well. I've been with Addison about 2.5 years, Queens a little over 1 year. My goal is to help distribute nuisance properties in the area. So as you find neighbors and people in the area who have properties that might have tall grass, roofs falling off, any kind of destruction of property, debris, nuisances, let us know that. Be happy to jump in and help out any way I can. If you have any questions, go ahead. Answer those. Yes.
All right, so you're employed by us,
Yes.
so is he hourly or per unit?
It's a contract hourly. So you might work 1 hour, you might work 10 hours, you might work 3 hours.
So this is the gentleman that we briefly talked about in the past that we're bringing on board with the experience.
Approved last weekend.
Thank you.
It was approved at the last meeting. All right.
Yeah, again, I'm excited. I appreciate your willingness. Again, I've heard nothing but good things. I just met you 5 minutes ago, but your reputation is very good in this community, and I've heard nothing but good feedback from Cleves and from Madison. So thank you for coming aboard and helping us out with some of these, especially some of these tougher ones that are extremely time consuming. So
Absolutely appreciate you do so. And side note, I live in the area. I'm off of Westman myself, so I'm in the area quite a bit. I travel your area, I see issues, and it feels good to be able to kind of help out, get those kind of issues resolved for everybody.
I got one other thing. If we do have a problem, do we go through the trustees first and then you contact them?
the process is the same. So yes, you would contact our administration, and then our administration would work with Mr. Lindeschmidt and say, this is something minor, maybe, or, we can still handle it, or this is a little more complex. We'd like to get him involved, and utilize his services and his expertise.
No, if it's something as simple as tall grass, I'm probably gonna look at that first. But I've got a house that's got, apparently, it's had siding off of it for 2 years. And, it's a little above my area of expertise, and zoning people say it's not theirs, so that's gonna be coming in.
It's not a big ground that exists there. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of cases like that, you can try to approach the property owners first, and they may be resistant to change and fixing it. We have issues with you also. Sometimes there are different funds available throughout the county to help out people to get the buildings fixed up a little bit, things like that also. I'm in touch with the bureaus and help people guide them to that. So it's not just clean down the cameras and fix this. It's, hey, let's find a way to find a solution together to help you get, funds together for this. And sometimes there's not. Sometimes it really is just on the property owner. Get your car out of your yard.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll be the way, so be around.
Thanks for coming.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right. Both presentations, this is, Mr. Rosenberg.
Yeah, I think we could get started Mark on the
Mark,
parks, and we can talk about the water fill station sites as well.
What are you gonna start out with?
Actually, I'm kind of excited about the new park equipment that Dan happened to respond to an email on. the fitness area,
Say it again, sorry.
the,
Fitness center.
Oh, yeah, you would start on the.
yeah, I was just excited about that because it looks like something people would use and, and we have some room, I think, after our last meeting to,
Yeah, so I just received that information, Dan, and related it. So there is an area that we could fit that on there. From our last committee meeting, I put in front of you a big drawing about what that ends up being in terms of the programming that we're looking at on this project. And in the area between the playground, which is item C, and the pickleball court, which are item B and D, we have that I meadow area that we could be able to locate that there. So that's something I think,
Did Mark, or did we, Jim give you the, measurements of it?
I need to get the measurements on that.
We have,
I think it's going to fit.
think about the size of the, about the size of the tennis court, a little smaller.
it's 38 by 38. That's what we're looking at.
Okay,
If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
something like that.
okay. So yeah, we could insert that in, and then at that juncture, where I'm at on this, and I gotta ask the board if it's okay. We've reached a point where this has kind of been hammered to this point right now. And I need, in order to start proceeding through this thing, I need some agreement from the trustees to say, okay, let's go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a value topographic survey together on this to provide it to the trustees to start moving on this. That sounds, you're able to do that, right? Because we've been chewing on this for a while, and unless we want to change it up again, which I don't want to, but.
So we don't want to change it up. I knew when I looked at that fitness center that we had that open area there.
Mhm.
So that it would fit where I thought it would fit. So if you're telling me those, then I think that would be a slab change. I don't know if, Mike or Tim, if you guys watch the 3-minute video of it, and so that gives you a lot of information. Pedestrian traffic that we have down there, I think it'll be a huge benefit for us. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm ready to move forward. I don't know, you guys got any questions about it?
Well, so I did, get to watch that, and I appreciate you bringing that forward, and I do think that it's an interesting concept. For me, I'm never going to say yes unless I see a price tag associated with it, so, I mean.
I'm not saying yes,
No,
I'm just trying to get
right, but
moving forward, and I agree with you.
And in general, I guess I had heard, that there was another park committee meeting, since, and that there were some discussions, and so I asked Jim, in light of, this new idea, potentially being inserted or included in this. And I don't know what came of the last park committee and if changes were made since. I attended one, I don't remember when it was, maybe June-ish or something. But I guess exactly what Mark's saying. He's looking for some directions, but I don't know what the park committee is talking about, and if things have changed since I did that in May or June, or whatever that means.
We're talking about what's in front of you, right?
That is the latest.
That's our latest.
Are you gonna move the baseball fields over like they wanted to?
This particular layout.
No. I'm just curious.
It's on our.
The one thing I do want to mention about the fitness center, they have some grant money available for that. I also believe we could get some, and I asked, we can use our match for that part can come from grant money. And I believe there's some grant money that might be available to us for that. So I'm thinking, and I don't have a final price, Mike, because I haven't had, we just got this.
Sure.
Well, on grant, the grant is supposed to be 50,000-60,000. And then we might be able to get more grants from it because it's ADA compliant. So, which makes it wonderful for us and wonderful for our residents.
And there's a lot of stuff that is an ADA compliant facility. And there's a lot of grant money out there for fitness, especially for ADA.
Right.
So I'm looking for this to be a low cost addition to the park.
Correct. Agreed.
So I don't see, so the water park is out, is that correct?
That's correct.
But we got the 2 pickleball courts now in there.
We have a garden pergola that's straddling the pickleball courts.
Okay,
And we also have a memorial plaza where we probably will relocate an historical marker to there.
okay.
And then, of course, the future baseball field, which is IMG. Field. And another meadow area that may be used for something else to possibly go online. They're just trying to keep some meadow areas. Item I between C and D in this path, I guess.
So how's it gonna affect the soccer when they practice?
Soccer stay the same.
I'm just curious, because more use out of the park.
So each future potential possible future baseball field, is that on the land we currently own with the extension?
This.
No. The one to the right.
So the age.
No.
Oh, no, that could be future.
So we have to purchase additional.
That's not township property.
Okay,
He just put that in.
Yeah.
Just to show us what it would look like if we happened first and second.
all right, so I guess what you're looking for is just us to, since there's no price tags that's attached to any of this, is just to kind of say in general.
Yes.
We want you to move forward.
And I go ahead and the first step on this is I have to do a boundary topographic survey. Then I can position these things appropriately, elevation wise and horizontal wise. Then I can give a budget number. But until I get that, we needed a program. Now we got the program. Now we can start applying that stuff.
So after topographic, then we can get a budget.
We'll give you an estimated probable cost.
Yes.
Gotcha. But then, if you're good with it, or if we need to strike something because you feel like it's a little bit too much, I don't know, we'll adjust it then when we get into the full design. But I need this from you guys to say, okay, let's go. It's like, I can't give you this number.
You better get it.
Go ahead, Tim.
The only thing that I wanted to mention is one of the first things he needs to do is do a boundary survey. And that leads right into the next issue of the saltwater fill station location.
Well, and if I could, one last thought on this as well. So you're showing a conceptual ball field and a property that may possibly be, in someone's mind as far as purchasing additional land. But we don't know if that landowner has any willingness or interest in selling that land. And I will say that I was down there a week or two ago, and there were discussions of whether we would want to put up a barrier or a fence or something along that property line to kind of differentiate and make sure that it's clear what is park and what is our property. But I had never heard till right now of this idea of maybe having a ball field, and we probably don't want to pay for and erect a fence and say this is our property and that's someone else's property if we're maybe thinking of doing that. So I was going to bring up in this discussion of before hearing about this ball field right now, do we want to look at, and I don't know how much that would cost, to say, hey, kind of box in our park and say this is our park.
Yeah, so right now the ball field is just a placeholder.
I know.
You may keep the building for maintenance or do something different with the property as it is. That's just a placeholder. So we're going to design this with a landscaping barrier like Betsy, but it's going to be designed knowing that future we may want to connect it.
Okay. Because I was going to request that and say if, again, without knowing exactly what specifically and how much, I'm saying, can we?
It'll be it's our full intention to design this so that that property can come on board should it be available. But knowing the full fact that it could be what it's going to be. The connectivity is going to be shown on this actually. I need these components to program this stuff, start that.
Do you, if we're planning on a wall, or a
We're not,
fence
we're
or?
planning on the wall, we're planning on heavy landscaping.
Okay.
And should
So
the
the,
need
you
come
can type
through,
into the future and expand, if it ever gets to that.
Yeah.
We don't know if it'll ever get to that. It might get to that in 5 years or it might be 20 years. We don't know that. So do we need to approve a motion for Mark to move forward?
I think that would be appropriate.
We can, so,
Right.
you got any more questions? Tim? Okay. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we, allow Bear Becker to move forward on our Monterey Township West Park extension of the, for the topographic, correct? And then
boundaries of roads.
then you, after that's completed, then you come back to the board with the cost analysis.
Yes.
So we can decide if we're going to move forward, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Is that, I'm sorry, has that already been approved? Like in your cost, or are we approving an amount for you to do that?
This was approved to get to this point.
Okay.
Right.
And then we were gonna go into, design development and construction drawings. But what I'm here with you right now is we want to have some cost numbers applied to it
Before we go forward.
Right. So what you're asking him to do, and you're making a motion for right now, is that cost $10,000, $20,000, or is all that already been approved? Just to do,
Nothing's been approved. I have not provided any additional fees for where we're gonna go.
what trustee Landon's motion, right?
It's just a token, he's asking,
What I'm asking for is that the trustees are good with this program.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and get a new proposal together to do a boundary topographic survey. And then provide an estimated probable cost.
But I assume that there's survey costs.
Right. There is.
So that's what I guess I'm asking is.
okay, well, that's what he's asking. He's asking, have we already approved up to that?
No.
Or do we need to, he's
Like
asking for an amount?
Like, are you saying the survey and what you would do to come back to, is there, is there,
Is there a dollar amount?
yeah, is there a dollar amount?
There is, but I don't have it.
Okay.
I need to go to that point now. I need to start there.
So you're not gonna do it, you're just coming back and give us the pricing.
He's gonna do the topographic.
I am going to provide this board a new proposal to do a boundary topographic survey
Okay,
and to give you an estimated probable cost. The reason I need to do the boundary topographic surveys, I need to move these things around, fit them in there with relation to floodway, river, elevation. So I need to do that.
okay.
And that way I can give you an estimated cost before we go into the design, or we get into any permitting. And I think that's what I'm here for, right here. One of the,
Is there a dollar amount to do what you're talking about doing between now and then? You're saying you need to do a survey.
Are you gonna bring us a proposal to do the survey and the boundary? And
Or are you doing the survey?
Or do you want approval to do that? And can you give us a not to exceed number today? That we can.
I'm sorry, I'm still not. The March services are ready. So I have no other contract to do this work, so I need to propose to this board what it would take to do that for your approval to proceed.
Yeah, so I think what Mike is asking is if we're approving you to do that survey and topographical
And how much is that
study.
cost? That's what
I don't have that
Can
number.
can you get that to us?
Yeah.
Or do you have a not to exceed number that?
I don't have that in my head. I apologize, I'm having that. It's just, I was trying to get to split it right there.
No, and I think you're doing great, and I'm not, this isn't on you or whatever else, but I just don't feel comfortable saying, let's approve something, and I have zero idea of what.
I am asking the board to approve this concept of this programming for this park edition. That's, I
So
am,
you can, that way you can give us the price in the next meeting, so we. can
yes,
approve.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's change that to that motion. We're just approving this. and that
Approving
make that-
the design.
Correct. So we
That's what I
can move forward.
We're approving the design and we move forward. Mr. Walray?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, any more questions for Mr. Rosenberg?
Next thing, or we-
Yeah, I don't know, maybe we ought to start with, the update on the path to Memorial Park, because that's how we got to the, right around to look at the
okay.
water filtering spots, so if you'd like to bring everybody up to date.
We did have a meeting with all the personnel involved in it, and stuff of that work. And currently, the arrangement is they just striped it with the wheel blocks down, like the other side. So out of the general contractor is waiting for the installer for the playground equipment. The installer playground equipment is going to start Monday, start putting that equipment in. Once they get that in, which should take, 5 to 10 days or somewhere in there, at most, but, then the forever lawn will be installed with the area. And when forever lawn gets kind of in there, Al will be back out there installing the fence, installing all the rest of the stuff. And we're probably going to have to talk to him about how they're going to get how we're going to stabilize some of this groundwork since we're coming into winter. I mean, winter in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, winter may just hit. So we're kind of have to discuss that. So it is on target. Of course, we're not going to have anything growing because every time. So, but it is on target to be completed here in the next, I would say 3, as far as they can, that's 3 to 4 weeks, as far as they can. So it is on target to be constructed. I don't know the outcome of the sign, where that sign was going, but I talked to Jim about that.
I responded to your email on this. I responded to your email on this. I thought I responded to what, you talking about the sign?
Yeah.
So we're saying-
Whether we wanted to go with lighted sign or what we've been doing.
Yeah, well, I responded on that, but the overall concept of the sign is great, I thought. But are we still trying to decide if we want that lighted or not?
Yeah, that's what we're waiting.
Okay. All right.
That's not going to hold anything up. The pavilion is ordered, they have it, they are just finalizing the permits. That's not going to hold anything, they install that in their time. Prepared, be built. That's the status of the department.
Anything else?
Oh, after the last parks meeting, I had the lead, and there was some talk about putting a bulk water fill station in at the edge of the parking lot. And he would let me know that some of the people in the parks committee thought there was a better spot, maybe down at station 69. So Mark and I went spot hunting, and the spot at station 69 near the fire hydrant would basically eliminate parking places there. Chief wasn't real happy about losing his parking spots. So I thought I had the perfect spot, so I drove him on the other side of the property and said, how about we go right up here in the corner? And he said, that's your leach field. I was like, oh, well, wish I'd have known that. So that was spot 2. Spot 3, we went over to the 2 lots that we have on Marshall and looked at that, and that would be a good location, except the side streets in Frogtown only have a 2-inch water line on them. So if someone was going to fill their tank there, nobody on the street would have water. So we would have to upgrade the water line up as far as that lot. If we're going to upgrade it, we may as well do it in a 6-inch with a fire hydrant, because it's not that much more expensive once you dig it to put 6-inch in instead of 4. So that's a cost with that. Then we rode down to the park area, the expansion area at West Park. And one of the other things Mark is going to have to do is locate the water line that he didn't realize went out of the park property. But that location would be the fastest, the easiest, and the most efficient place to put a bulk water fill station. That's why I said that his boundary survey kind of leads into the bulk water fill station, because once he set that up, it would be as simple as having Cleve put a tap in, Kevin and I put the station in, And, I think as few people are gonna use it, we could go back to, rather than put in the expensive station that we were gonna leave forever and spend probably $80,000 or $100,000 on. We could just go with the honor system, have people prepay, we'll put a trail cam up. So if Kurt gets an extra load of water and showing this picture and say, hey, you owe us for one. So I'm not really worried about just doing that, but we can control it a lot better there. I think if we try to put even a coin box up, it wouldn't be a good location. Marshall, I don't think would be a good location for a coin box either, so I'd rather just go with either a pin pad or a lock and a key. Or a combination lock that we can change the combination on when somebody puts using. But that would, I think, be the best place to do it efficiently and quickly. And
Where was this?
it would be approximately the quarter of the parking lot. That's not look about right to you, Mark.
Yeah, if you look at the drawing I gave you,
I see.
there's a blue note, the drawing that, right here.
That's what it is right there.
Back, I think back in January or February, we actually had an electric pole delivered to that site when it was going to go there to begin with. So there's actually a pole there. I have to set an electric service for it, and it could happen really quick right there. We had to put a little gravel down.
We've approved it over here, we just need to approve the site.
Yes.
So,
It's a no-brainer.
do you get any questions, Mike?
No, I've seen the various sites, and at this point, I've been advocating for it to be as, like Administrator Brett said, as quickly and as efficiently as we can. And I've talked to some of the residents, and I think that makes sense to me. But
Good with it? Like it there?
It's a no-brainer. I told you that way back. I mean, everybody said, oh, we got to dig 15 feet, and I got 5 foot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we go ahead with site 4 proposed by Mr. Brett and Mr. Rosenberger down at Miami Township West Park Extension area. That's shown on the map in blue store. And I'll make that a motion so we can move forward with this. Second.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
yes,
Thank you. I think that's going to be our best.
Do you have anything else? Go ahead.
Jeff, did you want to start with the last? It's all right.
West Park parking lot, we had only received one bid until today. So the bid we received was, I think was a bid that if we wanted somebody to do it, they would do it because we would pay that much for it. Our initial bid was from Holmes Blacktop and Concrete for $475,270. We received a bid from Westside Paving today for $248,677. They are suggesting 2 deductions. I'll let Mark explain those, but one is just a different curve. They would put the curve on top of the base.
Yeah, so one of the deductions, and this would help them get this thing built immediately.
Okay.
And what it would be is called a concrete extruded concrete curve. It's a 7.5 inch high curve by 6 inches. They pave, it's like on Dog Trot Road.
That's what I was going to ask you.
But it's bigger than that one. Dog Trot Road. It's a little bit bigger than that. That Dog Trot's a little smaller tight curve.
Yeah.
And they pave, stick it on there, and they put the final surface on. They can get that done faster. Plus, we can deduct the $7,000.
On the 248?
Yeah. The only problem with those is, if somebody beats the heck out of it, it breaks apart. And that's the issue on it.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't get this thing done faster.
It's got to be decent reliable because they put it on dog trot.
Well, they're driving this way.
No,
They're-
no,
They're not pulling in, they pull in, but I truly believe we need a curb on this parking lot, because people are driving everywhere.
Yeah, I think so too.
So there's also something we could do, I didn't talk to Jim about this, I was talking about another year. In the middle of the parking lot, we have the two grass islands, we can just get rid of that, and just strike it. It'll reduce cost there, if it works out for that.
That's yeah.
Okay. I mean, we're trying to keep a little bit of green space on this parking lot.
Well, we got green space all around it.
Yeah.
Would you good with that?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't have, we don't have to put it back out, though, do we, if we're making a minor change like that.
No, we're just reducing costs, not
Now, so what's happening is they provided the cost. I need to, I want to get this done tomorrow, so that they get on board and get the board's okay with it. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and change it up accordingly. You know, it's value engineering options provided, and we'll head it together and we'll do it up. Then we'll go ahead and have them sign the agreement with the township, and then they can proceed.
So was it 240 something and
248.
you're hoping to get that down maybe another 10 or 15 or
Yeah.
something?
Well, they actually, they suggested, and this I'm gonna defer to Mark on because I'm not a blacktop expert. They suggested that instead of putting 4 inches of pore space in, that we put 2.5 in.
Yeah.
That would be another $7,832 in deduct. I have no idea, Mark. We're not gonna be pulling tractor trailers in there.
Yeah, see, I don't want to compromise the thing, that's what we can do it.
Which might get buses and things. So
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to cut on the base where we're going to develop cracks in the future where we're.
But my next is going, we may have some heavy equipment.
Yeah, I mean, and in the future, yeah. Besides,
So I would recommend just leave that, but going to the curve, I think, yes.
And they have a good reputation, you good reputation.
I worked with the township, the parking lot across from the town hall, that's west side, we did that.
They've done a lot of work.
The homes number, and I'm gonna speak to them. I don't know what they were saying, that's really a large number. But I estimated 250,000. And, it's right in line, so I recommend this board to go ahead and approve and proceed.
All right, you got any more questions? All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the west side paving and move forward on the parking lot at $248,677. That's correct. Or less, right?
Or less, yes.
All right,
Not to exceed. Not to exceed number.
okay, not to exceed that. Second.
Mr. Volrian?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Now, all of this just is in my fees. I'm going to provide the construction safety, the management, that's already you guys signed on this. So, no other fees.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, Mark.
Sure.
So the next item, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Next item under old business is the Jordan Road water line extension design proposal. I have it in your packet today, but, I got to talk slightly with, Eric when he was in the, Please Waterworks. He has no issues with Abercrombie and Associates doing the work. They're the low bidder. But
This is for the engineering design.
yeah, this would be for that we broke this bid up into 2 pieces. Because Eric and I talked about splitting the cost of the East Miami River Road portion, the engineering and the installation of the water line along the road frontage, which I'm glad Mark stayed. I think even Mark was somewhat surprised to see that water line goes through the middle of the creek and comes out in the air.
Yeah, it's an area water main that's not good.
Yeah, so the village of Please Waterworks really needs that fixed. And Eric thought it was fair after we talked about this a year ago, or well, not a year ago, 6 months ago, that we just split it. And so I'll work with him. We'll have a recommendation for you at the next meeting on that. And then our portion would be the portion that would go up Jordan Road. So what we'll probably recommend when we get all this done is that we award this in two sections, provided these waterworks is acceptable with surveying and engineering. We would award our section for Jordan Road, which keeps us under $125,000, which is kind of that magic mark for projects. And then the Cleve Waterworks portion would total about $41,500. And we would split that, so it would be basically $20,750 a piece. And then there is a clause in there for any extra easements that they have to do. They get $1,500 in easement. So I expect most of this work is going to stay in the county right away. But in case that happens, we need to know that when they do the survey work, we'll find out about that. So I'm not asking you to approve this tonight. I just wanted to put it on your agenda so we can move on it next week once we've had a chance to break this down.
That's what I was gonna say.
I've got to get with,
Exactly what we're doing, exactly what Bruce is doing.
yeah, and I want, like I say, have to get together with Mr. Havey, their administrator, and Eric Quinn, who's the water superintendent, and I'm assuming the mayor will probably get involved in that. No, that's what he's paying his administrator for. All right. So we'll get to work on that, and hopefully we can approve that next meeting.
All right, sounds good.
So
All right,
next up was the fire contracts for the villages, and I think we're going to have to do some soul searching on that, and before we have a discussion on that. So because of the levy situation here in North Bend, and then Addison was able to renew theirs, but they didn't get the new levy on the ballot. I think that was just the timing with them. But we have to talk about personnel in the fire department and personnel in a couple other departments later on. So I think we can talk about that personnel and then decide what we want to propose to the villages. But I do think we need to get something to them soon because they've got to prepare their budget for next year. So I would suggest that we do that in executive session later on.
Great.
The park update on the fitness board, we kind of covered that early. So any other old business questions?
so anything from the board? No, nothing from the board.
All right, so you have in your packet a picture of the intersection at corner of Chance and Woodbury Farm Drive. The homeowners association is having some issues up there with heating, and they know it's their residents, their issues, but they would like to turn the corner of Chance and Woodbury Farm into a freeway stop. Ronnie Miller and I looked at this 6 months ago, and one of the issues was one of the homeowners' mailboxes would have to be moved. So the homeowners association worked it out with him. The homeowners association has agreed to move the mailbox. The post office has agreed to let them move it where it would go. So our cost would be installing 2 additional stop signs. So they would like us to do that, and it's up to you guys for your decision. I don't see a reason not to make it freeway stop.
All right, any discussion, Mr. Lewis?
No, so the HOA is all on board.
The request.
Yeah, this is their request. Yeah.
The request.
Good.
Mr. Fuller? Yeah, I have no input either. I'll make a motion that we go forward with the stop sign then, and then what is it, on the what?
And Chance.
Chance, okay.
We'll just turn that to a freeway.
Okay,
Mr. Volrath?
yeah,
Mr. Blanton?
yes,
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Next up is a software that I put you a link. We got to watch a lot of videos this week. the chief would use it mainly at the fire department, but would also use it in administration. It's a software that is used for onboarding people, maintaining records, keeping track of things, making sure that everybody's up to date. It automatically reminds them. It's something that if it's like the auditors fraud training we all had to do. You just go in, you do it, you print out the certificate, you upload it into there, and it checks it off, and whoever has ever seen that part of our program knows that it's done and has a copy of the certificate. The initial cost for that is $8,503.30 a year. The second year cost is $7,600. We won't have the software to buy, and it will probably save more than that in administration time.
It seems like a lot.
It is.
Seems like a lot for a program. Yes. That's my question. Yeah, discussion. Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit about this. That's all I got. Is the chief requested this and is it in their budget?
Yeah, well, it'll be next year.
In your budget for 2025?
He will be putting it in 2025. We won't get it installed before the end of the year.
Okay. So it's going to be put in the budget for 2025.
Correct.
Any questions?
So that would be money that we can send out to Jeff. So it would come out of the
But that is,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think, one of my big pushes have been trying to streamline our HR and that as well. So I don't know what other options are out there. There may be cheaper options. I don't know. It sounds like the chief must be comfortable and have used this in the past and is advocating for it. So it is a little pricey, but I'd like to see us go to some program. So if this is the one, then that's what the recommendation is, and I'm good with it.
He's familiar with several, and this is the one that he says works the best for what we need.
So has he worked with this program?
He has worked with this program.
Is it an ongoing yearly subscription to this?
Yeah.
Because I don't have I don't have all the paperwork.
It's the 7,600 on year 2.
Okay, so
And you,
then once you get it to.
you don't, it'll probably be, if it's like everybody else, they'll go up a little bit every year. You don't have a quote on that, I don't think.
So my question to you is, after the first year, we have a price, second year, we have a price. What's the price going forward?
We don't have a third year price.
Okay,
So we don't have to renew it.
okay, so we're not gonna be locked into a price though? I mean,
Just for the first 2 years.
well, that's my point. So we're locked in for the first 2 years and we like the system and then they're like, okay, that's $15,000.
Then we go find a better system, someplace.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're not locked into them after that first 2 years.
Is there an option to lock in for 3 years
I can check.
or 4? Depending, because we don't want to get into something, the fire department really likes it, and then all of a sudden it's double the price in 2 years.
Yeah, I feel like there's more information needed on this. I would not think that you'd like to talk to the chief on this.
I mean, we got a meeting in 2 weeks, so let's find out that information,
Correct.
and then bring it up again.
Right. Ballot board information is something we need to discuss after we do our executive session.
Okay.
I have 2 street repairs on Indian Brae that we were waiting on some pricing on, and I just got the last one this morning. So we have an area that we're gonna, on Indian Brae Trail, that is gonna require an 8-inch pole depth repair. So Three River Blacktop has suggested that we cut out an 8-inch by between 8 and 12 inches in a spot that's 5 foot by 20 foot. And the cost to do that is $5,383.50. So that's one of the two repairs. You want to hear the other repair before you make the decision on that one?
No. The way you're saying it, probably not.
So, well, the other one, wait, all right.
So why didn't we get Three Rivers and Joyous Howe to give us a bid on both of these instead of sitting with you?
Because Al couldn't get it done in time.
Oh,
I tried.
okay, so we're on the clock against split winter coming, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and that road is going downhill.
What about Three Rivers? Is that too big of a job for them? 3848?
The 30, yeah,
I need to talk about this, so,
that one was just too big of a job for him.
so is this to get us through till the subdivision is put in? And then we're gonna have to go and revisit it in 2 or 3 years, right?
We are gonna have to,
Redo those roads, because they're bad, I know.
we're gonna have to redo those roads when the last house is built. We're gonna have to have it in our budget. We'll know about when that is. We're gonna have to redo those roads. They're in horrible shape.
Okay, so this is just to get us through,
Sadly,
the next 2 or 3 years.
I'm praying, yes.
And I know a quiet word I heard from the HOA president, there's a lot of different issues, so.
Okay, do you want to talk about the other one also? Let's just deal with the first one.
All right.
So we'll talk about 3861 Indian River Brave Trail. It's at $5,383.50. And that's the dugout full depth, 8 to 12 inches and ready for you to be started, install asphalt, creating this. And it's a 5-foot area by 20 foot by 10 to 12 inches in diameter, right? So,
Well, the only thing I wanted to make is that I talked to Jim just in general about all these ongoing repairs, whether there was any ability to request from the developer, the builder, to offset the cost, reimburse, do whatever. And according to Mr. Brad, it seemed like that was legally, we couldn't require them to do anything. But at some point, it seems like this is going to be costly. Yeah, we did get Denver, and yeah, I don't know if there's any ability to connect with them. I mean, we can still deal with this right now, but it seems like we're going to be dealing with this every other month.
We did get them to repair some of the concrete curbs. Which I thought, well, that at least opened the door, and we're talking now, and
Sure.
so at least I have a person to talk with, and we're gonna talk more about, how we're gonna handle this when they get all done, and put their final coat of blacktop in their place. I'm hoping that they will, be a good neighbor, and that they want to build more subdivisions here, and they'll want a good relationship with us.
That's true.
So, but I can't guarantee that.
Right. So it doesn't hurt things.
No, I'm not afraid to be told no.
Sure.
all right, let's move forward. So I'll make that a motion that we go ahead with River Blacktop repair at 3861 Indian Brave Trail at $5,383.50. No, but second.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
So in the next area, Wayne asked me to meet him up there, and I told him next time we have a spot this big, let me know where my gym shoes. Wayne and I were talking about where at least this spot doesn't require the full depth repair. So Joyous Howe Asphalt and Seal Coating is recommending that we mill off the top 3 inches of what's there. replace that top 3 inches. This is on a spot that's a couple of spots, 12 by 240 and 12 by 36. It was just, when Wayne and I went to look at it, it just kept going. But if we don't do that now, and his price to do that now is $18,870, then we're gonna end up having to do full depth repair next spring. And you can see what the difference in cost is for full depth repair versus this. So we've got to get on top of this stuff and fix it before we're spending this big dollar like we did on Furman Pass. You know, if we'd been on top of that, maybe we wouldn't have had to spend $40,000. Maybe we could have spent half.
We were on top of it, we repaired it before.
So yeah,
So it's actually three spots here. It looks like the 12 by 240 and 12 by 36, and then there's another one down here, Bear Lane.
oh yeah, I had to add that in too because when I drove down the street, it was like, oh my god, you know, we've got to fix this one too. So I called Wayne and asked him to add that one, but that is included in that.
Had in Bear Lane.
Yes.
Not that everybody's watches our meetings, at Hawks, but just so we're all clear, Bear, Indian Brave, Bremen, and North, it's all the same result of the same development there. So I know we're bringing this up separately, but it's all the same neighborhood.
And it's all because of the development going on in the rear of the neighborhood.
Bear Lane's off to the left. Right.
Well, it's basically they either go straight out Bremen or they go down right with the Bear to Indian Brave. So all this is all the same. It's just depending on what route they take from that development.
All right, so Jim, I know you just asked this, so the Bear Lane, the 12 by 60 is included in on that price?
Yeah,
And then when are they gonna do this? Like,
they'll be able to, they'll be able to get to it in the next week and a half.
all right, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go with Joey to see how Indian Brave or Indian 3848 Indian Brave and 3987 Bear Lane at $18,870.
And if I may, we don't need to get any other.
We tried.
Okay, that's fine. If you make your effort to do your due diligence.
And we had 300 people promise us prices on this too. At the end of the year, and everybody's just,
Okay.
And we have to move forward.
yeah, we can't let this go through the winter and get the ice underneath it.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll make that motion.
All right, one second.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Volred,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
So, the next project is actually, an easy project. Our normal meeting days, although we set those at the beginning of the year, are, first and third Wednesdays. And the first Wednesday of 2025 is January 1st. So while I have had organizational meetings on New Year's Day in the past, there's no requirement to do that. Cindy said she'll have no problem in having temporary appropriations
But I
prepared
won't be
for
here.
December. So figure,
My son's getting married. So
December 1st is also, or January 1st is also a payday, so she's got to have everything entered and everything so that everybody can get paid on that day. So she will have temporary appropriations at our December meeting for that, and then we can do permanent appropriations anytime before the end of March. So I just wanted to
We
know,
still have to have
you still have to have an organizational meeting. So I wondered if you wanted to pick a date for that so we could get that out on the calendar, or if you wanted to think about
Saturday, January 11th. I mean, or just for an organization meeting, or
when are you actually back?
I'm back that Sunday.
So,
So I think the sooner the better in January. So it's the 11th, that's the second Saturday.
That's the second Saturday.
but if you're back on the 5th,
But Sunday, I'm back that 5th.
so we can do it on Monday.
Or,
I,
or that Wednesday, but I haven't looked at my calendar.
I say,
so I'm not sure.
I'm basketball season, so Monday, Wednesdays are rough. I mean, we can do Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah, send something out and,
What about, let's just stay with Saturday, we can do the 11th in the morning. What about that?
Fine with whatever.
It's just an organization meeting.
right,
Okay
and
with that?
basically, you're right. That's usually when you approve the salaries and stuff, so,
We could-
I mean, that would
plenty
be
of time in
fine.
advance. It's not a long meeting.
right, it's usually quick.
It's not long at all.
Yeah, I can't,
But we can wait, we can wait.
I agree that we should wait the first.
Well,
Yeah,
we're here.
if we can,
Well, what?
but if we can,
We can wait.
I don't even know that we need a motion, so basically, if we work through you, correct?
Yes.
You will make a second meeting date.
Okay,
So, but you don't have to do it today. I just brought it up because
Or think,
Why don't we look at our calendars,
If we
just
could get-
all three
yeah.
get back with you.
maybe the next
And then the
meeting,
next
right?
meeting we'll-
yeah, or
Finalize.
or the December
Yeah,
meeting.
December.
Yeah, I hate it when it comes up that third week of December and everybody's got Christmas and everything, and you're like, you want to do what, when?
Right.
I'm trying not to surprise you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can table that.
Okay, yeah, anything else?
I have nothing else under new business.
All right, do we, I know we went into executive session and someone makes a motion, we're supposed to do an executive session. I think we can address the board. Anything else from the public before we go into executive session? If we did, we gotta make a motion.
I would like to say a few things.
Sure, Mr.
Uh,
Moore.
I got a couple questions. The West Park extension, the parking lot that we're gonna build down there, how many spaces is that actually going to be? Parking spaces,
I think it's 50.
Sounds correct.
50, okay? And the other thing, the fitness court, is that outside exercising? When we say court, it's not a building, right?
No, it's not a building. It's outside, it's open, it's waterproof, stormproof. I wouldn't say waterproof. It's making for the outdoors.
Now, is that,
And there's, just so you know, I should have went into this. There is one in, Newport, Kentucky, one in, Springdale. I haven't went to look at them. We just said at a Zoom meeting, Jim, Mr. Brett and I, with, the company, fitness across America.
Yeah.
But it was really informative. I can send you the email, or have Jim send you the email, so they got a 3-minute video and it's very informative and shows you what it is. They have a bigger one and a smaller one. This is the smaller one. And it goes along right alongside what we're trying to do down there to get people outside, which our walking trail does. It's gonna be situated right by the walking trail with the pickleball courts on it.
so it's by the existing ball courts we just constructed in the last year?
No, the new ones,
Well, we're putting
Proposed
additional ones
the
in?
proposed new ones, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then it's, tell me if I'm wrong about this, but everything's supposed to be waterproof and not flood proof, but not damaged from flood.
Clean.
They have other ones that sit along the river that they put in and installed. They've installed, I think it's hundreds all across the US that these have went in. So it's what did I say, 38 by 38? And you see the picture there, and the video is really cool. You can walk in and there are different stations you can go to and then do your mile walk, mile and a half walk. So that's what it is. And it all goes along with, people coming down to walk, the general population, where it's located, bike trails, pedestrian traffic, all that stuff. They take into consideration.
So where that'll be constructed is in the new area we're going to develop.
Correct.
And that's actually higher, so that's really not in the floodplain unless we change the elevation. It's kind of out of the
Yeah,
right now.
our last flood we had, because I drove down there when we had it, in the area where we're putting it, where it was all the way up to field 3, that's the little field out by East Miami, and it wasn't flooded where this proposed site is.
Cool. And then there, in new business, with the Whispering Farms and the three-way stop, the HOA is requesting them, when we build these subdivisions, I'm sure they're approved by someone. To me, if the HOA is requesting something like that, shouldn't they share the cost? We are doing it for the residents. The HOA is requesting at least the printing of the signs, or I don't mean to be needy, but they seem to be needy to me.
I think we have, I think, and I agree with you what you're saying, but I think we already have the stop signs and have the poles. Am I right about that or not?
We would have them, but I mean, they're,
I think we already, they're in stores down there, and I could be mistaken about that, but I thought that's what Wayne said we already had the hardware.
But I'm just thinking, they're asking for it, so they want it. Instead of everything being free, yeah, we'll install that for you, and the sign's $850, and you want three of them. That's just me. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. And then the other thing, where you're having all the trouble with these streets, who is the developer that's building the subdivision that's causing the trucks or the equipment or the deliveries to come in to destroy our existing roads? What developer is back there?
Miranda Homes is the builder, and it's my understanding that the developers kind of switched, I don't know who the latest is, but they actually turned over control to another group, so I'm not sure, but it's
Has the township accepted them yet?
The township has probably accepted the street plan leading to the back development, but what I'm saying is, if our township is constructing these roads to adequately hold legal loads, they're not holding up. So I feel that there's something wrong here with the specs. We're not building them good enough. Is that the word you use? The base is not holding up. That's not your fault. We're building it to code, but maybe something's wrong there, but I'm just wondering, and I know you're asking the developer, we're going to get township funds, but we're destroying our roads to get to them. What do we gain? Well, we're gaining more residents, but we're gaining a lot of headaches. And you guys are seeing that with this, and it's an ongoing thing. And that subdivision is probably not going to be complete for a few years, I assume. So if these trucks are legal coming in there, they're going to continue to come in there.
Well, Mr. Brown actually worked with the county sheriffs, because they have a unit that checks the weight limits and all that, so they're actually down there monitoring and making sure that that those trucks, when they're, it's not all day every day, but making the stops to make sure that they're weighing them and making sure that they're in compliance, because it's obviously it's a concern. That's why I brought it up and said, can they share or reimburse us with some of these costs?
Does the township require bonds from these developers when they start a project back on the streets?
the county does.
It's all through the county.
County engineers does. Hamilton County does.
So there's a good chance there's a bond,
But I don't think I think there's a bond for the neighborhood.
There's a bond on the new
Right,
part,
new part, not
but
the old part that they're driving.
the parts that they're messing up are 25 years old.
Right.
And even the guy who runs the scales for the sheriff's department said, he said, I do this all the time. He said, I'm not seeing problems from overweight trucks. I'm just seeing problems from too many. And we've had residents who have asked us to take them find another way in, but it's public street. I've talked to the sheriff's department. I talked to the county. We can't tell somebody they can't use the public street. So no, what we can do is we're going to do our best to try to.
But is there more than one way in and one way out?
There's basically two ways right now.
Well, can't we at least get it restricted to one way, so we're not destroying two ways?
Why can't you put a weight limit on the road?
I think that's what they're doing.
We're not allowed.
That's what they're doing
That's
now.
what they're doing now.
And I get it.
There, when we spent the money, all the money to fix the blacktop on,
Did Jefferson just do a lot over there for you?
yeah, they just did $40,000 worth of work. And we put up a no through construction traffic sign for that day because you know how it is, you put that in your final 2 inches of blacktop, you don't want a concrete truck running through it. And the county sheriff was up there and kind of helped us control that day. But I'm just told there's no way, and I've dealt with this in other jurisdictions as well. You can't keep trucks from using the roads. It's just, we're gonna do our best to get some money out of them.
That's all I got.
So,
Thank you, appreciate it. Mr. Miller? You're up, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna
want
address
to
it
come
to
up,
you
right?
three guys too. Okay, I already talked to Jim Brett about this problem, but it ain't went nowhere.
so
7369 Westman Road. The sewage is running out of the place across the driveway. It looks human sewage, okay? My grandson has to walk down through it every morning to go to school and come back every day. This has been going on for over a year. I approached Jim Brett, and what did you tell me, Jim Brett?
I told you I would contact the Hamilton County Board of Health, and I'm looking at the email that I got back. They are trying to get them into court right now.
You told me you would be down the next day with the inspector and we would look at it.
They've already been down, they've already.
No, you never came down.
I know.
You didn't call me back.
You're right, I didn't.
I went up and looked for you twice. Don't tell me you're gonna do something if you're not gonna do it. That's
So,
why I'm up here talking to these guys.
you're right. I'm wrong on that one. So,
Thank you.
I did, and let me tell you.
Would you be happy if your grandson had to walk through it every morning?
I totally agree with you, Mr. Miller. So, Jim, you got an email back from the health department?
And they're taking them to court.
What's they gonna do?
That's the procedure.
That's
It's
how,
been on your procedure for a long time,
And we have-
way too long.
I agree.
Who, can you follow up in the morning
Yeah.
and see where we're at so we will call you?
I can't hear you.
We'll follow up with them tomorrow, see where we're at on the court proceeding. What, if anything, the township can do to get it moved along, and then we'll reach out to you tomorrow. I will. We'll tell you where we're at, where they're at. And hopefully they have a court date, whatever.
So nothing can be done.
No, it is being, this.
It might take them 6 months to get them in court.
Well, hopefully that's not the case.
It's been going on for over a year now.
Well, this is the first time I've heard it.
Okay, that's why I'm here talking to you guys.
Terry, I can tell you that when the Board of Health gets to this point, it can take months to get
That's what
them
I'm telling you.
served and get them into court.
Okay,
I-
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this right here.
But well, let me say this to you. We will follow up if there's raw sewage on the walkway or the pavement where your grandson's gotta walk through it. I mean, they have to know that, so they can try to expedite this thing. I mean, that's just disgusting.
It's worse than disgusting. I could take you right down there. You drive your car through there and your car smells like shit.
So let us follow up in the morning. Jim, you follow up with them and
Yeah.
follow up with me and Mr. Miller.
They should go up there and block it off
One of
and pour
us-
some concrete in it. And they should have make them pump it out every 2 or 3 days if they're gonna live like pigs.
One of us will reach out to you with the cell phone.
Call me, don't send me no text
I will
message.
call you.
Call me on my phone.
I will call you or Jim will call you, okay?
Of course, I can't find the email.
I think it's been way too long and if it
No, I
was,
agree with you.
your house, you wouldn't be happy.
I would be, I would be really mad about it.
Say that again, please.
I would be really upset about it.
And
I
I'm
totally
upset.
agree with you.
I'm about ready to go up there and dig it. I'm about ready to go up there and dig the whole thing up and run it back across through there. Then I'll be in jail.
Well, let's see where we get tomorrow, and then we'll see if there's anything we can get from the health department for a temporary fix. I don't know if there is. or-
They've been screwing with this for over a year.
So,
They got 3 complaints on it, and they ain't done nothing. But if they complained about me and you, they'd come out and shut us down right now.
well, hopefully what Jim's saying, they are doing something about it.
Yeah, but like you said, it might take 6 months.
Well, and with raw sewage, I can't, and I could be wrong about that, but you'd think that would be pushed to the front. You would think. So especially whenever it's in a walkway of children.
And that's what it is.
And we will,
And everybody, there's 2 other people who think they're headed to drive through this.
okay, we'll follow up with you in the morning, okay, or tomorrow sometime. And Jim will talk to him and I will talk to him.
That's why I came up and seen
And we'll
everybody.
see what we can do, okay, and we'll try to help you.
That's all I ask. If you
Okay,
can't get it cured, I'll cure it myself.
okay.
That's the way I feel about it. He's not gonna walk through that stuff all year.
I agree. Well, one of us will call you tomorrow, okay?
Okay? That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, do I have a motion to go into executive session? I will make a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, or compensation of a public employee.
I will second.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
We're back from executive session. We make a motion to come back in open meeting. All right, I'll make a motion to come back into regular session.
Second.
Mr. Volrath?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brown.
So we discussed our IT situation and the possibility of contracting with Bellator as opposed to contracting with, Mike Taylor and SMS. So I'm open for
Yes.
IMS, I'm sorry.
I will make a motion at this point to move forward with Delport for our IT solution.
I will second.
Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, any other business for the board?
And none.
All right, motion to adjourn. I'm gonna make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, Mr. Volrath?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
That was Volrath,